Today we're diving into Borderlands 4. Is this the game changer we've been waiting for, or just another overhyped sequel? Plus, Dying Light the Beast is out and the reviews are in. Is it more of the same, or do these zombies finally bring some new tricks? And we're breaking down Nintendo's latest direct, from standout reveals to totally lame letdowns. Stick around for all that and more. Welcome, friends, to Good Playing With You, your weekly gaming news roundup. I'm Dan Whitehill, and as always, I'm joined by my fearless fellowship of Matts, Matt Lord.
Hey, how's it going?
And Matthew Moulding.
Hey now.
Before we hit the headlines, one quick note. We're 181 subs away from our goal, so if you could hit the like and subscribe button, it would mean a lot. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump into the headlines of the week. First up, let's talk about Borderlands. Huge release last week, gentlemen. It already breaking records. On Steam alone, it peaked at over 304,000 concurrent players. It had the biggest launch in the series so far. First week sales are already past 2 million copies worldwide, bringing in about 150 million in revenue. And it even shot straight to number one in the UK charts. So this thing definitely came out of the gate swinging. Of course, it hasn't all been smooth. People are loving some stuff and frustrated by others, especially the performance issues that we've all been experiencing. But now that we've spent a few hours in it, I want to hear what you guys think, or Lord, in your case, what questions you might have. What's standing out for you? What are you optimistic about in the game? And what do you think of all the hype? Is it warranted? Is it great? What are your thoughts?
So I finished the game last night, very early this morning. It took me about 40 hours to just power through the main quest line, and I'll put it right here. Do the main quest line first. Ignore the side quests. Don't even worry about them unless you need to level up. At some point in the main quest line, the enemies got a little too hard, and I had to go level up a bit. But once you do that main quest line, you finish it up, everything unlocks for you. I thought it was going to be behind level 50, but it really looks like just finishing the quest or the main quest line unlocks all this stuff. So do that first. I highly recommend it. And I'm enjoying it. I had a little troubles at the beginning. Yeah.
One question about that finish it right away business is that's what everyone told me about Starfield. And then I finished it and I was like, oh, God, I don't know if I want to do this and run again. And I don't know if I want to do the side stuff. It didn't have enough of a game to really support the multiple runs that it was asking you to make. But you're saying that there's enough meat on the bone here in the end game that it is a good idea?
Well, absolutely, because if you don't do the side quests to level up or anything, you just go back and do them. It's a lot more fun, in my opinion, to do it that way, because you don't have this looming main quest line in the back being like, oh, I should really finish that. No, now you're unfettered and free, and you can just go do whatever you want, get all the collectibles. I recently found out that there's like a couple other things that I had no idea about that hide bosses away behind them. I don't think that's endgame stuff. I think it's normal, everyday Borderlands stuff, but I just never found it because I didn't do a lot of a crazy amount of exploration. So I can go finish those bosses now. I'm not level 50, so I'm still leveling up. And then once you finish that main quest line, that unlocks these prestige specialization numbers that happen in tandem with your leveling up. So you're leveling your character up and you're getting these points as well to put in your specialization categories. And I really think that's the way to do it. And I really recommend.
And when it comes to that, Malding, I have this like nagging sensation in my mind where if I miss side quests and I'm going on the main line, is that gonna be a problem or no problem? You can just champion the main line and it easily.
Could be the way I play games, so take this with a grain of salt, that it could just be my comfort level with the games and how I'm okay with it. But I didn't feel that the side quests really tied in so much story-wise with the main quest. It does send you to locations on the map that I definitely didn't go main quest. So I'm now seeing big, large swaths, especially of the third section of the map, that I didn't unlock, didn't look into, didn't see anything even go through, and now I am. I'll put it back that I love the open world. I think that was a great thing for them to do. It makes me feel really good playing it. I really love that part of it. but oh gosh, it's filled with lots of collectibles. There's at least 2 or 3 different types of collectibles for you to grab in addition to the side quest stuff. They know that is not how I
And the
want
collectibles,
yeah.
yeah, they don't give you anything. They're pointless.
No, well, they aren't pointless. They give you those SDU points that allow you to that allow you to do to upgrade your ammo capacity and upgrade your backpack and things like that. So they're not useless, but I mean, you grab one of those recordings and it's just talking in your ear, and it goes in one ear and out the other for me as I'm trying to defend myself against a big attack.
Definitely.
Yeah. But it's fun. It is fun. I am enjoying it.
And how, I know we mentioned this like an episode or two ago, but how is the skill tree in it?
Well, I've only done one character. Dan's playing a different character. I'm playing the Siren. Of pretty much only one skill tree is my favorite. There is supposedly a broken bleed build that I'm playing with a little bit on her, and I do notice that bleed is really intense. So I only know Vex, and yeah, I've been having fun with it. She's not my favorite Siren that I've played, but
I hated Vex. I started with her. I probably wasted the first night playing with her and trying to learn her different builds. I tried all her different stuff, and I just couldn't get her to play very well, and then ended up going with the soldier, Rafa. I think he's amazing. His skills make the most sense to me. The second half of the tree, I'm a little nervous because I'm not exactly sure if those are going to work with the guns I have him equipped with, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So real quickly, though, I want to go over some of the things I think about the game, and then I want to hear what you guys have to say and whether you agree with me or disagree, because like a true nerd, I made like a list here of the things that I liked and the things I didn't like. Because I absolutely adore Borderlands. I'm super pumped that this one's out, and I can see myself sinking a lot of time into it. But I gotta say, with all of the good stuff, there definitely comes some complaints. So first off, let me tell you real quickly what I love about this game. Like you said, the open world is amazing. It's a different take on it. In the older games, you kept going to these different small biomes, and you're just like, when is this ending? Where is this going? And it just felt so disparate and spread out and annoying. This one, they bring everything in. Look, is it revolutionary? No, it's like Assassin's Creed. But for the series, it's a huge change, and this is something that we needed in Borderlands, and Kairos feels more cohesive and fun to play in than Pandora ever did. There, I put it out there. Love Pandora and all, Kairos is better. And then I want to talk about the legendaries. Man, it's so exciting that they've actually made these things hard to get. It really feels exciting when a legendary pops, where in the other games, I'm looking at you, Borderlands 3, it just popped all the time, and it was truly annoying. And it was just, they didn't mean anything. And then knowing that Pearlescent is coming next year, it kind of gives us something more to grind for. So I'm definitely looking for the climb. I love the new traversal stuff. Like, I love the bikes, I love the gliding, and I love the grapple.
Let me stop you right there. The grapple is lame AF. I hate the grapple. It's hard. If the best part, if the grapple was the best, you'd be able to grapple everywhere, and then I would have loved it. But no, you have to look for these specific spots to grapple into. You have to make sure your reticle is aligned really well to be able to hit it. I'm always throwing my knife, that is my melee weapon, instead of doing the grapple right away, because it's the same button. It's really annoying, and I don't like it. But I do love the gliding, and I love the traversal, the car, the vehicle.
Okay, that's totally fair, and you're right. I do say I like it a lot, but with the grapple, it's like, man, I wish maybe in the next Borderlands they'll rip off Just Cause, because they did grapple the best so far.
Yes.
Where they had the parachute, and it's like, we don't need these bikes if you'll let me grapple and use my parachute to get around the world, and that's what Borderlands should have done. But I guess they need you on the ground so that you can fight all the monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I love that this game also has that classic balance of Borderlands, where you get a lot of weapons, and you're trying to get good stuff, but eventually your weapons just become crap, and then eventually you have to like maybe go and farm a boss, or maybe you just get lucky and suddenly you get a weapon, or in Molding's case, you get a shield that is so OP you have it 10 levels later.
Yep, I did. Got a shield at level 22. Was still rocking it at level 35. It was crazy. I didn't change it that whole time.
Yeah, and the drops, like, just while we're on the subject of drops, they can be that random. Like you could really get, like, is it really worth exploring the open world if you can potentially get a drop that's going to last you 10 levels?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they drop from anywhere. Paul Tassi put a post up on Twitter that he found a legendary in a toilet. So they really can just pop up anywhere.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's so far it's really exciting, and I'm enjoying that aspect of it. But now let's talk about the stuff that's shitty. And there's unfortunately a lot to talk about there. So first off, this game is clearly designed for PC players, and unfortunately for me, I am a console player, and it has one of those mouse things you have to move around to select the menu. It is awful and painful. All of the other Borderlands menus have been pretty good. This one, the way that they've organized the guns in your backpack, it's just basically they threw everything together, and then you can sort stuff, which is great. But if you tab away one time and you come back, oh man, all of that sorting is gone. This UI is so annoying, but even more annoying than that are the bugs that come with it. So you've got situations where you're marking guns to be deleted, and then unfortunately there's a bug in the UI where it keeps marking the guns that are above your guns, which are your better guns. And if you're not paying attention, you trash your better guns because you marked the ones that were beneath it, but it marked the ones above it. That bug alone shreds my patience, but there's other ones like the second player in any co-op party has a bugged loot cache where you go and you try and redeem your lost loot, but unfortunately you're not going to get anything good. You only get a couple. It doesn't, even if you've upgraded it, it doesn't grab your best stuff. But then if you go back to your single player game, it works fine. There's lots of little annoying, and the crashes, of course, but there's lots of little annoying bugs like this that keep it from becoming like an A+ sort of experience. And then
I'm gonna wait. Let me talk about bugs real quick. When I was playing, my first 2 side quests were both bugged, completely bugged. Couldn't finish either of them. Nothing was working until I just had to reset the game. And once I reset the game, it was fine. But still, you shouldn't have to do that. You should. They should work. Yeah,
I agree. I'm like, and when you told me that, I was like, oh crap. But then I was like, why the hell did they put this game out 2 weeks early? If they know they had all of these bugs in the game, they moved this game up. They made it come out earlier than they should have. And I'm like, man, I kind of wish they had stayed and patched all this because I'm enjoying it. But those bugs, you basically have to stop and restart your game every couple of hours when you get these bugs. It's just annoying. And then I do have to agree with one of the reviewers last week that you talked about and quoted, Moulding, when you said that the tone was an overcorrection. I totally agree. There are some times in this game I'm laughing my ass off. It's totally funny. And then there are some characters that are so emo and so serious. It is a snooze fest, and I don't care with what they're saying. And I don't know that I'll ever really care for a Borderlands story as much as I did for Handsome Jack. They just haven't had that happen. But this emo tone, it's just, I know that people online are like, oh, I love the mission about the rocket that wants to know her, fate and all that sort of stuff. I don't give a crap about the rocket. If there are no jokes, like, go F off, especially if you're in a party with your buddies. Like, you don't want an emo story when you're hanging out with your buddies, waiting, trying to have a good time. You want jokes, you want fun, you want to shoot people in the face. And unfortunately, the tone annoys the shit out of me on this one.
Let me add something about the story. As I finished it last night, I still cannot tell you what the motivation of the main bad guy is. I cannot tell you why I was fighting him at all. No clue. Really no idea.
Yeah,
maybe you did a couple side quests, Maulding.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but you know what? That's actually, that's not something to be completely ignored, Matt. It is possible that maybe those side quests fleshed out that kind of stuff, and I missed it. So that's completely valid.
I mean, I'm a little surprised to hear that, because my biggest concern before this game came out, I was like, they're gonna definitely make this game like too silly, and so I'm a little surprised to hear they just went full emo, and it's confirmed full emo.
They're jokes.
It's crazy. Yeah,
they're jokes,
but
they're not enough.
Wow, I'm honestly I'm stunned to hear that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just some characters are like serious characters, and then there's Claptrap, who's always the humor, and even he has emo moments where he's like mourning someone's death, and I'm like, oh god, this is so annoying. But I do have to say, just to wrap things up, I'll say the bosses so far in the game for me are totally uninspired, and I'm horrified because I know I'm going to be grinding them. And so far, only 2 of them have been remotely interesting. I think the vault is a great idea. I love hunting the keys, but it was so disappointing to get inside the vault for the first time and realize that it was just waves of enemies. There are no emotes, which would be nice because you're hanging out with your buddies and it's a co-op game. It's like, really, like, that's what we should have been looking for in the open world molding, like not these audio logs
Yeah,
for nothing.
that's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like,
have the collector be emotes for your character.
exactly. And the
That's
last thing
great.
that annoys the shit out of me is there really is hardly any music. There will have like a bass beat and like stuff happening when you're in a fight, and but when you're in that open world, it's like crickets, man. It is like quiet AF, and I'm like, oh, that's so not fun. Little ambient something in the background, like it really couldn't give us any of that. It was a little disappointing. But anyway, all in all, I have to say this is a great foundation for them to build from. I can't wait to play more.
We would be remiss not to mention the problems with PC optimization too. Lots of people are saying it is rough on PC, and even PlayStation 5 Pro was having some problems, especially with one character, the Gravity Lady, I guess, is almost unplayable near the end of the game when you're so powered up and using a lot of powers. And also, we got to mention old Randy Pitchford and his tweets. Man, that man cannot get his foot out of his mouth. He is constant. Just don't tweet at all, dude. Like, you don't need to berate the people that bought your game and love your brand. You're just going to turn people off. I don't have the tweets in front of me. You can look them up on Twitter or one of the many sites that has followed. But he basically said stuff like, oh, now you're realizing that your PC, what you have on your PC actually matters, and that's how you determine like how your game runs. And it's just real shitty stuff to say. Just say, we're working on it, we're gonna make it better, thanks for being fans of Borderlands, we'll get you, we're working on it. That's all he needs to say.
His whole quote of like, it was something like, yeah, why don't you go build your own game engine and then teach us how to do it? And I was like, oh, could you not be toxic? Like, he is so toxic and so bad. He's an albatross for that company, and he has been since the beginning in all of his lawsuits. And how he is still employed, I have no idea. It is crazy how bad PR he is every time he opens his mouth.
And Dan, it's funny that you mentioned restarting your game, because that was one of Randy's suggestions also on the tweet. He's like, yeah, just restart the game every so often on console and it'll be fixed. And there's your solution. And man, I'm with you. I cannot believe this dude is actually allowed. I would have thought they would have suspended his Twitter account before
they should have,
right? Launch to help, but as expected.
Unfortunately, it's one of the best places to get the up-to-date loot keys, so I have to, for the good of the team, so you don't understand the mental sacrifice I'm making for you guys and the mental health that I'm sacrificing, because I have to
your mental health wasn't very good from the beginning, so you're fine.
There is that. But I have to read his tweets to find all the gold keys.
I don't need them.
Enjoy.
You're good.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. What is the best thing you've gotten out of one of those so far, Dan?
Oh, I haven't used them yet. I'm waiting until level 50.
Yeah, so I haven't redeemed them either. I haven't gotten anything.
Okay, so once you redeem them, you can hold on to it as long as you want them?
Correct. They become like a currency.
Yeah. All right, when you're ready to jump in, Lord.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's been a busy week, but I'm ready to jump. I think this weekend is going to be playtime.
For you on YouTube, let us know in the comments what you guys think of Borderlands. If you've played it, we'd love to hear what you're thinking.
Now let's talk about another game I'm chomping at the bit to get my hands on. I can't wait, and I was so afraid it was going to be overshadowed, but the reviews have been kind of interesting, and that's Dying Light: The Beast. Malding, tell us all about it.
Yeah, Dying Light: The Beast released yesterday, to a bit of a whisper, if you ask me. Releasing just a week after Borderlands 4 is either a great indication of Techland's confidence in the game, or maybe they just want this one to wander off into the woods and die. Well, as of last night, it's sitting at a respectable 82 on OpenCritic and 78 on Metacritic. Does this mean Dying Light lives again? Here's what some of the critics had to say. Jasmine Gould Wilson at Games Radar gave it a 90 and says Dying Light: The Beast is a staggering achievement, recapturing the series' spirit and elevating it tenfold. The result is a game that, while occupying a much tighter space, manages to feel more alive than Haran or Villador combined. Techland isn't reinventing the wheel here, but by revitalizing its own playbook, the beast is Dying Light in its prime. Mark Delaney at GameSpot rated it an 80, writing Dying Light has always been a series that does a few things very well, but would get distracted trying to be a lot more at the same time. I totally agree with that one. Finally, the beast leans into Dying Light's best parts, giving you a scarier, tougher, more immersive world to explore than anything in the series before. And finally, Liam McKay at Dexerto does not agree with either of those people, however, giving it a 60, and adds that Dying Light the Beast has great parkour and melee combat, but a bland story and an uninteresting beast mode mechanic leave it fun, but ultimately forgettable. So boys, what do you think? I want to get your take on the release date being so close to Borderlands 4. Are you surprised at the modest to high numbers? And do you plan on picking this one up, or is it time for Dying Light to be buried?
Actually, these are better scores than I was anticipating. I feel like every
same.
game that has been recently coming out has gotten a average around 80. So a lot of pretty decent games are dropping as of late. That in itself is cool. But this one, I heard it was Steam Deck verified as well, so that adds some points to it. I think that could be something that down the line I'd want to give it a go. It sounds like it's scarier, and I think last week I was talking about how scary. I feel like the first game freaked me out. So if this one is on a scary mode, I mean that sounds a little. I mean we're getting towards Halloween, so I think we got Kronos there, and that's going to be in the lineup, and then maybe Beast. I mean, maybe.
And then we've got Silent Hill F next week, which we'll be doing something special for, and I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Very excited for that one. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Yeah, I don't know. This is just like an interesting one. I'm totally curious to hear what you have to say about this one, Dan.
Well, I mean, look, I totally get that these games are a little bit generic, and I don't expect, if I expected anything from Borderlands story, I expect even less from the Dying Light story. I know that these are, like the zombies, pretty brain dead, but damn if they aren't fun games. And I love the traversal, the movement, the combat. I love everything about this. I've heard that it's not as buggy as Techland's previous efforts, so that's exciting. I love that Techland continues to support these games long after they've been released. This is just in my wheelhouse, and I definitely have to play it. There's just so much coming out. And since we've got like Silent Hill and I've got to focus on Borderlands, there's so much more we're working on. I just don't know that I have the time. So unfortunately, I won't be picking it up this weekend, and it's going to be killing me. But the second I have a moment to play it, maybe in a month or so, I'm definitely going to be picking it up. And it's nice. The base game is only $60 because, as we all know, this was DLC that was spun off of Dying Light 2. So it is a little bit smaller of an experience. You can get a $70 version that has some different cosmetics and stuff like that. But really, the full experience is only $60. And that's easy, yes.
Supposedly I have it for free. I don't know yet. I tried to look to redeem it on Xbox, and it didn't even allow me to select a version of the game. So I don't know what's happening there. Maybe it's user error. I mean, this is a back. Yeah, yeah, probably. This is a back burner game for me. Sure, I'll pick it up, and especially for free, I would not be buying it right away anyway. Yeah, I'll play it when there's a drought coming, when I'm done with Borderlands and Silent Hill and everything else that's coming.
And if I can time it right, if I start playing it when you're in a lull and you're going to see me playing it, you're going to be like, oh, I'm curious. Dan, should I get it? And then, of course, I'm going to want to play co-op. So I'm like, of course, but you have to get it. He's like, oh, I feel like I'm missing out. I'm going to have to get it. And then like, you're going to end up getting it. So you might as well accept your fate now.
I mean, those were two stellar impressions of us. So yes, that is exactly what we sound like. And I totally believe that.
And is it... Yeah, in the reviews they did mention a little bit how the co-op was. Did I miss how did they mention it all? I don't
know. Nothing was mentioned in co-op about it, so I have no idea what co-op is like. Yeah.
Well, hopefully that's good. Okay, and I don't want to. I feel like I said this about another game a couple weeks ago, and I felt like it was being shady. But no shade when I say this, but this game also feels like a game that's going to be pretty nicely discounted for the holiday season. So
Yeah.
that's some.
I see
You're not
this
wrong.
game hitting $29.99
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Totally. I think
Yeah.
that's about the trajectory it's going at. So
Yeah.
maybe that's
No,
the
you
time.
guys are totally not wrong. It's just I have a really soft spot for this game, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to wait until it hits that $29.99 over the Thanksgiving holiday. I might have to dip in a little bit earlier, and I'll definitely keep you posted on how that is.
Why
Yeah,
not?
do.
All right, so let's talk about some more video games. Nintendo had a direct, and we need to talk about what was shown off because there was the good, the bad, and then there was definitely some ugly. But before we jump into that, Maldi, why don't you tell us about Instant Riot?
Absolutely. This week's episode is brought to you by our friends at Instant Riot. Instant Riot is the clothing brand for gamers, pop culture enthusiasts, and everyone in between. And they just so happen to be the official partner for Good Playing With You merch. Go to instantriot.com and enter First Riot for 10% off your first order, or now available on Amazon. So you can check the Instant Riot store out on Amazon as well. A big thank you to our friends over there.
Agreed. Thank you. All right, now let's talk Nintendo. Because as a Switch 2 owner, I have been chomping at the bit, licking my chops, waiting for a big announcement of what's going to be coming out this fall. I definitely need some software to support this thing. There are only like 2 games on it, and I can't wait to see what they have next. And they had a direct. So before we talk about what we think about the direct overall, let's jump into each one of the games. And first off was Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Meetup in Bellabel Park.
Sounds like a gay hookup.
It's a new expanded version of Super Mario Brothers Wonder for Nintendo Switch 2. It adds social plaza with co-op and competitive modes, mini games like Phanto Tag, Bob-omb Pass, Hide and Seek, and more for friends and family in the Flower Kingdom. There's also other enhancements exclusive to the Switch 2 edition, and it should be coming out in like February 2026, and we're gonna have to do a live stream, so whether you guys like it or not, we'll be playing it and streaming it on our YouTube channel next year.
Yeah, I remember Malting doing the Wonder live stream not that long ago, and that's cool. I'm just like the hub that they're bringing. Is it going to be like you're going to be able to hang out, right? That's what I sort of like. You're going to be able to hang in the game a little bit, almost. Like,
yeah, it kind of looked like you could run around a Mario Party level and then jump into these sorts of activities and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I mean that's cool. I feel like it's high time for the Switch 2 to have a little Mario game to work with. So good thing this is gonna be coming up. That's a good Mario game to look forward to for sure. And I can't wait for the live stream, of course.
Agreed.
Yeah, you can check out our live tab on YouTube where I played the game for about an hour and change. It was my first time playing it, probably my last time playing it, except until the live stream. I have no interest in it, but I'll do it for the team.
I think it would be really fun for all of us to couch co-op Wonder. I think that would be a good time.
Yeah, that agreed. Yeah, that is the one thing that Nintendo does so well is they keep making these games that are couch co-op and easy for us to stream. And so, gentlemen, that game is definitely in your future because I can't resist anything Mario. I'm a super fan. I gotta say I was a little disappointed though. The system needs its flagship Mario, and they just keep updating these games from last generation, and it's just so tedious and boring waiting. Look, this is going to be something I'm going to play like Jamboree TV. I played it one time with you guys and I'm never going to play again, but I don't care. It's going to be a good time. So I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Good.
Yeah, they took out of the PlayStation playbook. They're like, hey, let's just remake a bunch of old games. Well, they're not remaking it. Yeah. They're just upgrading it or whatever for the Switch 2. So, and charging it for it.
I agree. And how this Switch 2 keeps selling. It's idiots like me, of course, that run out and buy it. But like how it keeps selling, I don't have no clue. Like they're really just oof. And a next game we want to talk about that definitely doesn't have me, day one is Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, a side-scrolling platformer on Nintendo Switch 2. Yoshi's kind of always been known for his like kid and cute drawn games. The plot here centers on Yoshi teaming up with a magical sentient book called Mr. E, who can't read his own pages. Together, they jump into pages and explore the document, unusual creatures, and mysterious places in each world. The art style is painty with a Nintendo book illustration style vibe and whimsical creature designs. That one's spring 2026. Does this do anything for you?
This one, no. I mean, The Great Circle, Indiana Jones. This is like the same uninspired title. And the mysterious book, like books right now, that's like all I feel like I saw in this trailer. I was like, I see a book. I see a book. I'm like, this is just such a strange game, especially since Yoshi just had the yarn game. Do they really need? I don't know. I feel like they're getting a little hasty with some of the Yoshi games right now. I think we should be focusing our attention on some Mario. Maybe for Chad out there, we got to like get a Waluigi game working.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. This one was a weird hit for me.
So I'm going to disagree slightly. I actually really liked the book aspect of it, only because it's so different than all the other games where you're just landing in a world and you navigate to the different areas. At least they did something kind of new, and kids need to know what books are because they're going away. So let's let the kids know what books are.
You know what? Amen to that. Amen to that. So
I
true.
agree. I think you hit the nail on the head, though. This is just a kiddie game, and it looks cute and all, but it's just frustrating. The kids are getting the game before we get a proper Mario. I'm like, what? Where's the justice in the world? What's going on here?
Yeah.
All these kids running around with a $600 system or however much it is playing Yoshi's book.
Right. Next up is Pokopia. Now, this was an interesting one. It was like a Pokemon spin-off where they're on their own farm doing crafting and stuff like that. Is that right?
Yeah, so I put this one on there because I thought I don't play Pokemon. I don't really know Pokemon, but I did play Pal World. And what I think is happening here is, correct me if I'm wrong too, Lord. Maybe Pokemon have done this type of game before, but it looks like Pokemon looked at what Pal World did and was like, let's take a little bit of what they'd made and merge it with Minecraft and Pokemon, and it's this all like game that looks like you're doing crafting, you're doing base building, you're doing farming. It's kind of a catch-all game with all these Pokemon. I didn't really see what they were doing in the trailer. They all just seemed to be staring at you while you were doing things. So maybe it should be Pokemon Voyeur or something like that. Maybe they're just watching you do stuff. But I thought it looked actually kind of cute in what it is. So I thought it looked interesting.
Yeah, from what it was sort of like an Animal Crossing vibe a little bit as well was in there. And there's something about those dead Ditto eyes turning into a little like girl and kind of spaghetti arming around. I just thought that was like such a funny concept and just is such a Nintendo thing to do. And honestly, I thought it looked kind of cool. Like I liked how the Pokemon are kind of hanging out, and I thought the art style of this one with like kind of like slight like almost side scroller type of viewpoint. I just thought it looked like an interesting perspective. Who knows if it has legs to go all the way, but I thought this one looked like a cool game for me too, and one that I would potentially pick up.
Nice.
Yeah, I wondered about that since you're a resident Pokemaniac, but that's interesting to hear. So definitely keep us posted on that one because I'm not sure what to make of it, but if it's good, I definitely don't want to miss out. The next game is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, a fresh remake of the classic RPG Dragon Quest, Fragments of the Forgotten Past. It features fully 3D graphics with handcrafted diorama-style aesthetic, full voice acting, updated combat systems, and its quality of life improvements like speed options, visible enemies, etc. It's being released on many platforms, including Switch, Switch 2, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC on February 5th, 2026. Malding, you are the Dragon Quest king. What are your thoughts on this one?
What got me immediately was the art style. It looks like what they did was they took physical representations of these characters, scanned them into the game, and they look really unique and very cool. And I'm very excited to get my hands on it and see what that art style looks like. The people at Dragon Quest keep on doing these really innovative things. We've got that tilt shift look that we have with the Dragon Quest remakes 1, 2, and 3. And then now this kind of like odd scanning of physical creature or physical people, puppets or something being your main characters. I love it, and I really am excited to get my hands on it.
Glad to hear you say that, Malding, because absolutely the graphics totally caught my eye. I thought, wow, this game looks so stunning, so cool. This is a type of game that I could see myself also potentially, putting on the wish list because it looked awesome, like a good time RPG.
Absolutely.
Nice. The last and certainly, well, potentially the least, is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Samus returns in this long-awaited new entry that adds new exploration elements, gameplay features, psychic powers, hooks, environmental traversal, and enhanced graphics and control options for the Switch 2. This releases December 4th. What do you guys think of the latest look of this series?
Okay, I've got to lay into this. Many, many, many months ago, we did a short where I talked about how what we saw from Metroid looks like it was a GameCube game, and I'm gonna revert that a little bit. It looks like a PlayStation 2 game. That's what I'll give it, a PlayStation 2 game. It honestly, I can understand we've got people are fans of Metroid. Absolutely, I get you, but you cannot look at what we saw in that trailer and say that that looks good. You can't say it. Samus, awesome. Samus is on a motorcycle in this barren, dead desert. Nothing. It looks like looked pixelated to me, even though it wasn't pixelated. It looked pixelated. How they managed to make this next gen game for Switch 2 look like that, I'm furious at anyone who would say that this looks like a good. It might be fun. I played a little bit. I mentioned a lot that I played a little bit of the Switch 2 experience. It did not light my pants on fire. I did not think I had a really fun experience playing it. And this just looks awful. I'll say it. I said it.
Oh boy, I agree. When I see that motorcycle set, what a cool concept though. Like Samus on a motorcycle, so badass, and then you see it in action, and you're just like, dude, this desert is like, there's nothing here. And then it does like the sideways skid. It literally looks. You're right. Like you're playing early PS2 games. You're just like, man, what happened with this one? And then of course it goes the first person shooter the first person mode, and you see the enemies again, staticness again, nothing really going on. I'm just like, I'm very curious to get my hands on this one at this point, because from everything we've seen and the release is right around the corner, I am very unimpressed with how this is turning out. So it's looking not so good. I think this wasn't the reaction to the trailer that they were hoping for, at least from
I agree. I mean, we keep hearing from fanboys and fangirls that they love this, and we are so wrong and we're blind. But I got to say, I agree with you both. This third trailer was the worst trailer. And not only was the desert completely devoid of life or anything interesting, I mean, you might have shot like 2 creatures. But then I noticed in the rest of the game, when Samus is moving around the world, it's pretty slow, and she's interacting with a console. I was like, even the rooms that they're in are so devoid of any sort of detail. It looks the most boring thing I've ever seen. It is, I don't know. I feel bad. I hope it's good for the people who love it, but if you're not a super fan, I don't know that this is a game for you, because it looks like they're phoning it in for sure.
Yes, what a sad time. I'm just disappointed. I'm more sad because I should like this, is what I'm disappointed about. Like, this is a game that is totally up my alley. Love the previous titles. Now we got this, and I'm like, how is it looking this way? Like, they better, hopefully it releases and it's just it blows the doors, it hinges off, but I don't see that happening.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's going to release, and the people who disagree with my take on it are going to double down on the other side and say, oh, no, you're so wrong. You don't see it. It's the best game we've ever played. It's the best game Nintendo's ever put out. And I'm just going to say, all right, sure. If that is what you think it is, then good for you. Enjoy your time with it.
Oh, all right.
You can see, by the way, on YouTube, check out our YouTube channel, and all the trailers that we spoke about today, you can check out on our YouTube channel.
Agreed. Good point. All right. So as we're wrapping up this Nintendo section, gentlemen, were there any great standouts that you're super excited about, or any notable games that just didn't meet the muster?
I mean, we talked about Metroid, but my game of the show is by far Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I'm very excited to get my hands on
No question, Metroid. Love that game. Looks great. I'm just no, I don't. I don't know. I'm kind of with you on that Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
That
it.
looks
It was a shot surprise too. Completely
Yeah.
came out of no idea something like that was going to be made. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go Dragon Quest also. That looked like the trailer honestly got me super hyped up. I loved it.
Yeah.
If you had to give this show a grade, what grade would you give it? A through F?
C plus. Take Metroid out of it, you got a B plus, but that Metroid takes it down a whole grade level.
Yeah, I'm going C minus. I didn't think there was that much going on here. This was the time for the Switch 2 to show off what they got, and they did not. There's still I'm left wanting with this system, and this didn't do anything for me really.
You are definitely 100% correct. I think my vision and opinion is a little bit clouded with the fact that they did add Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So I was super excited. But again, this is just them re-releasing stuff that when they should be creating new stuff and then add it on to the price. It's going to be $40 for the individual games or $70 if you get them both in a pack. So $70 for two games that are like, I don't know, 15 years old, and then or $40 for each game. And it's like, come on, F you. If you're not going to give me a decent Mario game, at least give me a decent price. They're like, no, we're lazy. We're just going to give you these old games and we're going to charge you so much more. I'm like, the hubris, I hate you. And for that reason, I give it a C minus.
Yeah.
C minus is
also real quick. They did do a little teaser trailer for the Super Mario Brothers sequel movie. Did you see that? Any interest in that?
Yeah.
Think that was fun.
Hyped. I loved the first one, honestly. I thought that was great. I mean, even Chris Pratt kind of did all right in it. Like, I was concerned, and then no, I love the first one. So I mean, this could be hopefully it's a good follow up.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll make a lot of money.
Yeah, I love the trailer of the first one. I didn't think the movie was as good as the trailer. So, I'm curious to see what happens here. Yeah.
Huh.
All right, speaking of old games, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Black Flag, because that's obviously the favorite and everyone wants a remake, and it really sounds like Ubisoft might be doing it this time. Now, we've all heard it, throughout the years that this is the one they're going to remake, but now we have some now we have some leaks that are pointing to that very thing. So the source is Jeux Video, which is French video game magazine, and they have printed a whole list of leaks that they have heard. And I want to go through them real quickly and just get your guys' opinions on if this remake is on the right track, or if you have any sort of hesitations on it, because I do have to say that after this was printed, there was some outcry from fans on Reddit, but I'll tell you about that after I read the list real quickly. So first off, the remake removes the modern day segments that were in the game and replaces them with more content in Edward's pirate era, a few extra hours compared to the original. Gameplay will shift closer to the RPG style of newer Assassin's Creed games. Loot and gear stats will be there for Edward. Inventory systems and combat leans more towards the RPG style games rather than the choreographed combat of the original. There will be no loading screens when moving between the ship and land. The map isn't bigger, but islands will be filled with more activities and side content. Expected to include cut content from the original, like parts of Mary Reed's storyline that were dropped in 2013. It's not the same, quote, big budget remake levels as Resident Evil 2 or Silent Hill 2, but more of a faithful reimagining with significant updates. It uses Ubisoft's new Anvil pipeline engine, the same as AC Shadows. The release date currently targets 2026, most likely March, though some sources think it could slip to late 2026. They are reusing some assets from Skull and Bones to cut costs, but it won't be obvious to players. So with all of that, what do you guys think? Sound good? No?
Modern day getting scrapped? What are that to me? I remember I saw a little bit of this out. Reddit was super
that's what it was freaked out on. Yeah, that's what.
And But I agree. Why would they do? I thought that was so cool, jumping back and forth. I thought that added a cool element. It added the backstory that I felt like going into the past needed. Like you started actually caring for the player a little bit more. This just, I mean, it sounds cool. A lot of the stuff, like you got all the stats, the RPG elements. It sounds like maybe they're going a little bit on the bloated route, but because that's how I feel overwhelmed getting into some of these Assassin's
What?
Creed games.
Assassin's Creed's bloated?
I,
What? I
I
have never. I have
no, I
never.
know, but that was the beauty of the early Assassin's Creed. You really didn't get that bloat. It was kind of a linear, kind of just straight shot experience. Now I can see this kind of going a little wild. But hey, I'm still stoked. I mean, we need a good pirate game out there, and why not remake this?
What is Assassin's Creed without the time jump, without the whole concept of you jumping into these people's bodies? Then we're just doing stealth assassin game, I guess, which is fine, but I feel like that is the heart of these games. I tried Assassin's Creed Mirage. That totally scrapped it. I was prepared to be like, who's jumping into the body now? And there's nothing unless it comes further on, and I just didn't get to it. So yeah, what is Assassin's Creed without it? I don't want them to do the RPG aspects, even though I like the RPG aspects of the newer versions of it. I want my old Assassin's Creed a remake to be old Assassin's Creed remake. I don't want it to be a brand new game like that, but that's just my opinion.
I agree. Although I'm excited for all of these modern updates. I don't know. I kind of love what they're doing with this. And I think unless they're going to figure out, they're always half ass on the modern day stuff. And that's the thing that ticked me off the most.
Correct.
They
Yeah.
needed to have a better connection between the game and the modern day. And what I really wanted to happen in this, in my heart of hearts, is that you go into the Animus and you become the character like Edward Kinway or whatever, and you, or any of the characters, you learn skills in the world, and then you come out of the
Yes.
Animus.
Like
Your
the
character,
Matrix.
yes, Desmond Miles, or
Yes.
back in the day or whatever, would have learned these skills from them, and then you could go to different places of the Sturgo, and you could break into things, you could fight people, and it would like have a substantial impact on Desmond and the story. But it never really got there, and that's what frustrated me. So they either need to fix that fundamental problem of the modern day, or they need to scrap it all. And it sounds like, unfortunately, they aren't getting very creative on this one, and they're just trying to please fans. So they're giving everything that they think the fans want, which is modern day RPG and tons of ship battles. I think that game was easily one of the best. So I'm super pumped for it. And if they can't figure out the modern day, I'll take this, and I'm super excited.
I think you nailed it with that. That is how they should do that. The switch from modern day to the past. That's perfect. And yes, best pirate game. I hate pirates. I don't care about pirates. I don't think they're fun. This game did pirates great, and I had a blast with it. They did it fantastically.
So like, I'm just trying to think though. So they're not like, you're just gonna wake up. Is there gonna be any backstory, any talk of the like Animus or anything like
Yeah,
that? It's just
probably
gonna be
not.
like
Then
he's just gonna wake up, and then all of a sudden you're just
yeah,
in the. It just
you're just
seems
playing as him.
Yeah.
just seems very. That just seems strange, like to me, especially since yeah, I thought the modern day stuff was so beloved that there was no way they could get rid of it. But I don't know.
All right, a couple more stories I want to get your guys' opinions on here. We've got two small ones today. The first one up is Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And I felt compelled to bring this one up because we've covered it so many times. I've wanted to like get to the end of the saga, but essentially it was exactly what you guys thought. The developers, the Chinese Room, announced that they will be putting in the two factions that were La Sombra and Torador clans that were part of that $22 add-on. They're putting them in the original game so that it looks like they kind of caved to everyone, and they are releasing it now on October 21st. the studio also acknowledged that there will be 2 narrative expansions, Loose the Cannon and Flower and the Flame, that are coming in 2026 as part of the premium edition. So they're using this as a marketing beat to say, hey, we fixed the game for you, and by the way, we've got some real DLC coming. Do you think that they've done right by fans, or what are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is what they were calling for, and they made it happen. Like, they tried to sneak one past the gamers, but the gamers won in this case.
Yeah. Nerdstradamus strikes again. We guessed that's what they were going to do. So we were right. Everyone else was wrong. They can kick rocks.
No, it's
Agreed.
great. Like, man, it surprises me that we're in 2025 and these developers think that that kind of stuff is still a good idea and not understand there would be blowback. It's incredible.
I think too many gamers now are really attached to Reddit. I mean, they always have been, but I think people are really smartening up. Is that the right word? Smartening up on how these corporations are trying to F you over, and they're not having it.
Agreed. I think they thought they could pull a fast one. They're like, oh, our game's kind of small and niche. We're just going to do this and no one's going to say anything. And then it blew up because you never can tell what gamers are going to freak out about. It's the craziest thing in the world. And this one, it did not fly under the radar for gamers. And I agree. I think they've done right. And that actually makes me more interested to kind of like hear about this and check this out in the future.
Yeah,
okay, one more thing I want to get your opinion on, though. We've been following the Xbox ROG Ally, and apparently there's been a price leak this week. So according to a European retailer, Microsoft's upcoming Xbox ROG Ally handheld may debut at a lower price point than initially suspected. Listings briefly posted suggested the device could launch around $850, undercutting earlier speculation that it would push towards the $1,000 mark. While Microsoft hasn't confirmed official pricing, the leak has fueled optimism that the Xbox branded handheld could be more competitive against the rivals like Steam Deck and Lenovo Legion Go. What do you guys think about this price point? Does it work for you?
Malden, take it away.
I'm an Xbox fanboy. Unless this thing hits $99, I'm not buying it.
Wow. You might be waiting a little long for that one, my friend. But, you know, I that's still so expensive. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what the article was like. Oh, a lower price. Oh, it's much nicer. I'm like, what the F? These are PC people. That's what
dude, you can get a Steam Deck for $400, brand new, and you can run all the games natively on there. You don't have to worry about whether or not you have to stream it, whether you can load it up. Like, there's just so many red flags with this handheld at this point that when it does, this could like seriously be a tank for Microsoft. Unfortunately, like they have to price this so much more competitively. They need to actually somehow undercut the Steam Deck, which I know they wouldn't be able to do that because like if you were to try to go like 350 or something, there's just no way. So yeah, but this is a troubling device.
Yeah, and the one thing is, okay, clearly we're not the target audience for this, but you do have a Steam Deck, Lord. Mm-hmm. And do you think it's starting to, you know, excuse the pun, but lose steam? Like, is it getting weak?
No.
Is it
no. The Steam Deck does nothing but ramp up hype and get better. I kid you not. That Steam Deck Reddit subreddit just goes off with new ways to try things, better improvements for the system, new updates. They're always updating it. It's like, it's nonstop fun with the Steam Deck, I'm telling you. So any handheld that drops on the market needs to somehow match that level. And I don't see that happening with this system.
Yeah, because I think we're still a few years out for a Steam sequel. I think this first one is still selling really well. And I think maybe the Microsoft playbook was they were hoping that by this point, the Steam sales would be flagging because it wouldn't be powerful enough, and they would be able to come in and be like this branded experience that's guaranteed to work in this space, and might have misjudged the landing here.
Yeah, that's such a great point. I think they might have thought that, the Steam Deck could have, lost lost some power. It wasn't
Lost some
going to
steam.
go. Blossoms. I know. I was like, oh my god.
I felt bad saying it the first time.
As you should.
Steam and no, it's just I'm telling you that the Steam Deck it's a quality piece of machinery that it blows my mind every time I play it. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I feel bad because I would love another cool handheld in my possession, but this one I'm gonna swerve.
I agree. That 850, sheesh, still too steep for me. That's for sure.
I'd rather get norovirus on a Carnival cruise than spend 850 on that.
That's saying something.
Yeah, right.
No, I kind of agree.
I love that. That's your go-to analogy.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that's a comparable $800. Hey, cruise.
All right, well, that pretty much wraps up everything we have for this week. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening on a podcast, please tell 181 friends. And on behalf of Matthew Moulding, Matt Lord, and myself, Dan Whitehill, thanks for joining us. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.